What else is important about the NIH? How about their connections, like their relationship to the World Health Organization, or WHO? Quoting from an article by Stat News, quote, "We have had research partnerships with WHO going back many years," close quote. And, quote, "Given the WHO is a major player in that global health arena, we'd hope to be able to continue to work with them in some productive way," close quote. Not surprisingly, this next quote is an example of why it is so important for us to know who these agencies or entities are and what they're up to. Because, quote, "Since much of the research is taxpayer funded, and the drugs will largely be purchased using public funds as well," close quote. "We are paying for it, America. We must learn what these acronym entities are doing with our money. Is it really being used to help save lives? Or is it being used to line the pockets of deep state players to fund their global agenda of the New World Order? What other partnerships or relationships need a closer inspection?" Still quoting, quote, "I'm hopeful that this new partnership called ACTIVE is the best chance we've got against this virus," close quote. According to another article by Science Magazine, quote, "The NIH and other firms join forces to streamline coronavirus vaccine and drug efforts." What does that mean? Well, what does that sound like to you? Quote, "Hoping to bring order to the chaos, the National Institutes of Health and major drug companies today announced a plan to stage carefully designed clinical trials of the drugs and vaccines they have decided are the highest priorities for testing and development," close quote. The opening line, "order out of chaos," tells us exactly who is behind this pandemic. So who uses that line? Freemasons? Occultists? Secret societies? All of the above? Because they love using the Hegelian dialectic to implement their evil plans on us as a whole. It goes on to say, quote, "The public-private partnership involves NIH, other U.S. government agencies, 16 pharma companies and biotechs, and the nonprofit Foundation for the National Institutes of Health. It aims to develop an international strategy for COVID-19 research," a press release states. However, NIH Director Francis Collins told reporters during a press call today that, quote, "It is primarily a U.S.-focused effort," close quote. Can anyone say oxymoron? That's what this is. How can there be an international strategy at the same time when it's primarily a U.S.-focused effort? Makes no sense, but that's how these people are. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to cover their you-know-what. Quote, "The initiative, called Accelerating COVID-19 Therapeutic Interventions and Vaccines, or ACTIVE, aims to make efficient use of NIH funding and its clinical trial networks," close quote. I bet they do aim to take American tax dollars to implement their agenda of genocide against us. How fitting, isn't it? we get the honor of funding our own genocide. Anyway, this article goes on to say, quote, NIH is stepping in partly because of concerns that some potential treatments, such as hydroxychloroquine, are being touted by some researchers as effective based on poorly designed trials. We need the best research standard, says former NIH director Mr. Zerhini, who sits on the FNIH's board. Quote, to me, the whole effort is to create a synergy between all of the players. Close quote. And so there it is, truth hidden in plain sight. If they are advising against an effective treatment, you have to ask yourself why. And quoting from former NIH director Mr. Zerhini, the whole effort is to create synergy between all of the players. The little nugget of truth amongst all of the lies. Guess we will need to look harder at these players, don't you think? I do. Yes, indeed, I do. Why are other doctors saying the exact opposite? Quoting from Twitter from the Disruptive Physician, the link Q dropped for us on post number 4086, quote, meanwhile, regular doctors like me are using HCQ plus azithromycin and zinc to good effect. One nursing home in Northeast Ohio had 30 cases, started everyone on HCQ, no deaths, quick recovery. Why would the mainstream media hide this? And why would Twitter block people who question the WHO? Close quote. Since the NIH is the top of all health institutes in the U.S., isn't their relationship to other entities important for us to examine more closely? Quoting from the blog of the director, his article titled The Prime Cellular Targets for the Novel Coronavirus establishes some of the relationships of the NIH. Quote, this work was driven by the mostly shuttered labs of Alex Shalik, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Reagan Institute of MJH, MIT, and Harvard, and Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard, Cambridge, and Jose Ordovez Montañez at Boston Children's Hospital. In the end, it brought together, if only remotely, dozens of their colleagues in the Human Cell Atlas Lung Biological Network and others across the U.S., Europe, and South Africa. Close quote. Globalists who are working hard to bring forth their agenda of 2030.